Hi, my name is Robert Soukaseume, and my presentation is about math anxiety and learning. I broke up my Prezi the same way I wrote my research paper. I will start with a general overview of math anxiety. There are many definitions of math anxiety, which I have listed from SUSE, and putting it all together, math anxiety is a strong, negative, and emotional feeling of usually failure, fear, or tension that interferes with an individual's ability to learn mathematics, whether it be avoidance or mental blocks of numerical manipulations and solving math problems in school, but it could also affect them in life. Who does math anxiety actually affect? It is actually a prevalent condition that negatively affects people of all ages around the world. Research claims that math anxiety is more common in girls than in boys, and relating it to the US, approximately 93% of adult US Americans indicate that they have experienced some level of math anxiety, and estimations are about 17% of the US population suffers from high levels of math anxiety, according to Lichtenberger. Now we're gonna go to impact on learning. How does math anxiety affect learning? The definition pretty much describes how math anxiety affects the learning of students. It lowers their potential of learning math since they will lack full access to working memory. It also hinders the progression of their learning because it interferes with the manipulation of numbers. Math anxiety is higher during tests, and this connects to how, regardless of the source, the most prevalent consequence of this anxiety are poor achievement and poor grades in mathematics, according to SUSE. We're going to move to the areas of the brain involved. In general, math anxiety generally involves the limbic system, specifically the amygdala, but we will come back to that later. The four main parts of the limbic system includes the hypothalamus, thalamus, hippocampus, and amygdala, and is called the emotional part of the brain because these structures carry out a number of different functions, including generating emotions and processing emotional memories. All parts of the brains communicate with each other and work with each other, but these four parts of the limbic system are important to learning and memory. Now we're going to go specifically into the amygdala. The amygdala is part of the limbic system, and it regulates the individual's interactions with the environment that can affect survival, which as it could control them to attack, escape, or mate, or even eat. After researching about math anxiety and how it affects the limbic system, I found a quantitative study by Kushin et al. That analyzes the effects of math anxiety to the brain structure. In the end, only the volume of the right amygdala survived the FDR correction, indicating that higher levels of math anxiety are related to a smaller right amygdala volume. Since math anxiety and a smaller amygdala coexist with each other, potential symptoms of math anxiety arise and make sense. Students may act up in class, may try to escape or avoid class, they may be disengaged, they may be afraid to make mistakes, they may feel helpless, they may even lack confidence. Since math anxiety and a smaller amygdala coexist, it makes sense how students dealing with math anxiety can't control their negative emotions and feelings to math as much as others. Now we get to go to research practical applications or research-based practical application for math teachers. So all of these practical applications are research-based. We're going to start off with constructivism. Dewey, Vygotsky, Piaget, and Brunner all contribute to the idea of constructivism. There is no one constructivist theory. I have listed how Woolfolk and Finlayson describe the elements of constructivism, and there are many intersecting and similar elements. But in general, constructivism involves inquiry learning, project-based learning, discussion, cooperative learning, and is student-centered. The students have to be actively constructing their knowledge in a constructivist classroom. Applying any of these constructivist elements to the classroom will help alleviate the math anxiety of students, according to the study of Finlayson. We're going to move on to diversifying assessment practices. According to SUSE and Finlayson, using diverse assessments will help students deal with their math anxiety. According to SUSE, Teachers can alleviate the math anxiety caused by testing when they include multiple methods of assessment, such as oral, written, or demonstration formats. Likewise, in Finlayson's study, as part of the diverse teaching strategies, participants wrote about assessment practices as a means to reduce math anxiety. Therefore, math teachers want to avoid the traditional high-risk, time, paper and pencil, and formal assessments, as it could actually exacerbate the math anxiety of their students. Instead, teachers can incorporate more projects, presentations, and portfolios. Next is expressive writing. Expressive writing has been proven to lower math and journal anxiety when used appropriately, according to the mixed methods study of Hines. The results are suggestive of the positive benefits for using expressive writing to reduce anxiety, so students may be able to perform better on academic tasks, such as mathematics tests. Expressive writing addressing math anxiety has to be low risk. It takes about 15 to 30 minutes per day and must be done for 3 consecutive days at least. Students must also write about feelings specifically to math, state testing, and overall school to avoid neutral topics. Just writing about anything will not necessarily help math anxiety. Now we will go probably to my favorite practical application, which is virtual math games, which is actually relevant to many teachers right now since we are teaching virtually or hybrid due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In Alanasi's quantitative study, he tests and experiments whether using virtual math games along with traditional methods will help students with their math anxiety and overall math performance. The experimental group obtained lower math anxiety score and higher performance scores than the control group. The key is that it has to be used as a supplement to traditional methods, not replace. One suggestion is to think of games as a way of tilling the soil, getting students ready to learn by developing their prior knowledge, according to Souza. I have listed 5 popular virtual math games to the right, including Mathia, Variant, Magna High, and ST Math. I actually experienced elementary students using ST Math and they love it. And I am actually integrating Mathia in my class during distant learning. Since virtual math games is a natural and engaging form of learning by combining gaming elements to educational objectives, math anxiety is lower and students perform better in math. Lastly is mindfulness. Mindfulness practices include, but are not limited to, breath counting, awareness exercises, guided mindfulness audio files, body scans, and sweeps, according to Carsley and Heath. In Ahmed's study, they found students practicing mindfulness have lower levels of stress, negative thinking, worry, and other feelings associated with anxiety. And due to this relationship, mindfulness may not only reduce test anxiety, but as a result, indirectly boost academic performance as well. Practicing mindfulness is easier than ever, as mindfulness mobile apps are readily available. I have listed a couple of the most popular mindfulness apps to the right, including Insight Timer, Smiling Mind, UCLA Mindful, 10% Happier, and Stop, Breathe, and Think. My co-teacher is actually doing her action research about mindfulness through her program at Cal State Long Beach and has seen the positive benefits and results. Hopefully this presentation will be helpful to math teachers, especially during the pandemic, as math anxiety is probably higher than ever. I'm going to click to my references. These are all of my references. I know it's kind of small, but thank you for your attention.